For the following session, we are very excited to bring you the Belgium Flanders Innovation Demo Day, providing an overview of Flanders Region startup ecosystem, innovation, and international business opportunities. First, we would like to invite Doris Wu, Trade and Investment Commissioner of Flanders Investment and Trade, Taipei, to deliver her speech.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Doris Wu. On behalf of Flanders Investment and Trade, I have the honor to open this section by briefly introduce you some key factors that foster innovation in Flanders. Okay, on the map, you will see the yellow color. It is Flanders. It is the northern region of Belgium. And you will see it is well located in the center of Europe with easy access to Amsterdam, London, Paris, and Cologne in 2 hours by train. Flanders government has the autonomy and the funding to develop its own innovation environment. And you will see the star ecosystems is purposely well distributed all around the 5 province of the region. So it's a well-balanced development. Even though Belgium is a small country at the same size of Taiwan, with 11 million inhabitants, half of Taiwan's population, it has very dynamic and fast-growing startup ecosystems. Nowadays, there are in total 3,300 startups and scale-ups headquartered in Flanders and Brussels, the capital city. For Flanders only, there are now 2,000 startups and 200 scale-ups. And now the number of unicorns this year comes to 6. Now I want to let you know some key aspects that foster innovation in Flanders. First and foremost is the access to talents. Flanders benefits from its high-quality education system and advanced research facilities. Renowned universities like Catholic University Leuven, Ghent University, and the research institutes such as IMAC. They are globally recognized for their R&D achievements and the talent trainings. And the result is you get access to skillful and talented workforce. Flanders also offers abundant funding opportunities from C to Series B and even later phase. You will have access to angel investors, venture capitalists, and various government funding programs. For your business expansion, you will have access to the dynamic local clusters that will provide you access to academia, research institutes, new technology, and the markets. So they are the best platform for you to grow your market in Europe. And also, for startups, you will have access to the strong network of accelerators and incubators that will provide you with infrastructure, mentorship, new technology, and the research collaboration partners, or any assistance that you would need in Flanders. So now I have three other key aspects for companies to grow and to innovate in Flanders. If you would like to know more about the startup ecosystem in Flanders, you are most welcome to get all the details from our open database online. The website is provided here. And if you would like to grow your business in Europe from Flanders, please contact our office, Flanders Investment and Trade, at Belgian office, Taipei. And behind me, following, there will be 5 speakers from Flanders-based companies that will pitch their stories and demonstrate Flanders innovation. So please stay with us, and thank you very much. Thank you.
For the first startup of Belgium Flanders Innovation Demo Day, we would like to welcome Barco to share their presentation.
go forward. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers, InnoVEX, for the invitation. Second of all, I would like to thank Doris and also Flanders Investment and Trade for the hosting of Barco at this event. Today we're going to tell you the story. Actually, we're going to tell you two stories. You're going to get a good deal from Barco. You're going to get two stories and two presenters for the price of one. Yeah. So we're going to take you along on the journey of telling you the story of our product called ClickShare. And along that, we're going to tell you the story about innovation, how it is embedded and how it is incorporated in our company. First, before we start, let me introduce you shortly to what Barco actually is. Yeah? Barco, it stands for, a lot of people don't know that, for Belgian and American Radio Corporation. Yeah, it was founded in 1934, so quite some time ago. As you can see, it was started up by an entrepreneur in the Flemish part of Belgium, so it fits very good with the introduction we just got from FIT. And this entrepreneur thought it would be interesting to basically import parts of radio systems into Belgium and then selling them out. Yeah? In the meantime, of course, a lot of things have changed. After the Second World War, we went into TVs. After that, in the 80s, Barco is very well known for its projector business. And after that, let's say going into 2010, we have our ClickShare and other digital products that came to surface. Yeah? So we have diversified in the meantime a lot. Growing out to a company of 3,200 employees in the meantime, going towards 3 different markets. So we have our healthcare market, where we are quite active in terms of diagnostics equipment. We have displays, we have cameras, but we also provide the software to do detection of certain pathological patterns, for instance. Yeah? We have our entertainment. We have huge displays, but also lots of projectors. For instance, projectors, not just projectors in your meeting rooms, but the projectors which are present, for instance, with 3D projection on buildings. If you have seen, for instance, in Kaohsiung in Taiwan, there is a very nice example that the theater over there in Kaohsiung has, during the weekends at least, let's say 3D projections on the top of its building. Yeah? Also, lots of tourist attractions have the same worldwide in the meantime. But what we are going to talk about, and where Barco is very active in Taiwan, is the enterprise business. So from an enterprise point of view, we provide large video walls, but the most important product that we bring to market is ClickShare. And that is where the second speaker today will tell you the story about, and how through innovation this was brought to the market. Just a couple of facts and figures. So from the 3 divisions, or from the 3 markets, they are spread about equal. So we have about 30% coming from healthcare, 30% from enterprise, and another, let's say, close to 40% from entertainment market. Yeah. Our main geographical areas where our customers are is in Europe and also in the Americas. In Asia Pacific, you can see we are reaching only 20%. So Asia Pacific is our prime growth market going forward. Yeah. What are we at Barco? What are we? What do we stand for as a people? Yeah. So basically, we are visionaries. We visionary the future through technology, through people, and through sustainability. From technology point of view, we own 500 plus unique patents. We have also our Barco Labs, innovation and research facility that also will be, let's say, talked about later on into the presentation. And we also reinvest a lot of revenue into our R&D. Visioneering through our culture. It's a very important thing, because it's all about the people at the end. The people are the ones who are bringing our most intellectual property to our company. So we invest a lot in continuous learning, in growth and development of the people working for us. By the way, we still have quite a number of open positions, so if any of you or your relatives are interested in joining Barco, please visit our booth at Q1113. Yeah? Our HR is today at that booth, so feel free to have a chat with her. With respect for people, planet and communities, a couple of weeks ago I had the opportunity to speak for the Ministry of Labor in Taiwan, where I was presenting indeed, let's say, our approach related to sustainability. Barco is, let's say, really putting a lot of focus on that one, and I will show you just in a minute. But sustainability, eco-labels, making sure that not just the products from Barco, but also the products from our suppliers are, let's say, matching our eco standards is very important. And we have, of course, a strong code of ethics that we use throughout our organization. That's why in a people-centric organization, we innovate for sustainable impact, yeah? And obviously to cause growth towards Barco and his company and products. So with this being said, you have an idea what Barco stands for and what Barco is about. So I want to give the word now to my colleague here who's going to take you through the journey of innovation and ClickShare.
Yes, thank you, Frank. Hey, hello. Indeed, what I'm going to talk about here is innovation, but very specific with the whole story about ClickShare. ClickShare is one of the basic and one of the flagship products of Barco. And just maybe to test this here in the room, who has actually known ClickShare, knows the brand, or maybe has ever been using this kind of buttons in meeting rooms for presentation? I see some people, yes, a number of people knowing this. So for the ones who are not knowing this, this whole journey started in 2012. 2012, we introduced this concept of a button. It's very simple. You come into a meeting room with a supplier, with your customer, you want to do your presentation, you take your laptop, plug in the button, push the button, and you're on screen. All the touch screens, all the capabilities in that meeting room, you can use it at your disposal. So that was a big disruption which we did in that time. And it's something which we created the whole market. Afterwards, quite a lot of other competitors were coming on the market. But at this moment in time, we already have 1 million of meeting rooms installed all over the world. So that was a really great success. But of course, innovation doesn't last. Markets change, needs of people change. And around 2020, we realized that people are not so much only in the local communication and the face-to-face. No, it's about digital communication, it's about video conferencing and talking remotely to each other. So in 2020, and it was actually the exact timing, a month before the COVID pandemic hit it, we launched our new product range. And our new product range was still a button, again, a button, simplicity, we are for simplicity. But it's a button which was now not only making sharing capabilities, but really made, if your room has high advanced camera systems, high advanced microphones, speaker systems available, you come with your laptop, you open your Teams client, WebEx client, Zoom client, GoToMeetings, whatever, you plug in the button, and suddenly your laptop transforms into a whole meeting room solution. So you have the perfect audio quality, the perfect video quality, as if you would have an expensive solution available. No license needed for these rooms and so on. So this is something which we did, and we created a whole portfolio for all kind of meeting rooms, from small to large meeting rooms. And that's the disruption which we did in 2020. Now again, we are 3 years later. We have introduced that concept of what we call bring your own meeting, because it's that easy, you bring it with yourself. And now a lot of competitors, again, this year we saw on all the fairs, a lot of competitors are taking this up, are following our thought leadership on this area. We are here at InnoVEX. The question is, of course, why are we telling this story? Well, because actually this is a story of startup. It's not a startup started outside of a company. This is a story about an internal venture, an internal startup, an entrepreneur, not an entrepreneur kind of startup, but an intrapreneur kind of startup. And that's where we strongly believe in as Barco. If you really want to make a disruption in the market, you need to be able to act like outside here the startups are acting. We need to have people who can come from a technical idea, make an internal venture of it, also scale it up, and then become a business and reiterating that and doing it all over again. So that's very important, and you will see later on that we really embed that in our DNA. Secondly, that's maybe something which at this kind of a forum, it's maybe a strange thing to say. We are visionary to technology, yes, but we also know that user experience is the key important point. So you don't only innovate on the technology part, you also innovate on the user experience part, and you also innovate on the way how you bring that to market. And having that adaptive way of balanced bringing innovation to the part is something which we really encourage. But what's really the magic? Well, the magic is you have to understand as a company or as a startup how to do innovation and which type of innovations to foster. And basically, we believe that innovation has two phases. At least you have on one hand the breakthrough innovation, on the other hand the incremental innovation. And it's really key that you do these two in a smart way at the right moments in time, because that will give you the success. Of course, a startup, when it starts, it always have that breakthrough innovation. Breakthrough, because otherwise you're not a startup, right? You shake the market, you bring something totally new that nobody has, and that's your breakthrough. But then it's not done. Because once you have done that part, there is quite some time left to make your product. You need to conquer your market. You're not there yet. So while breakthrough innovation is your magic, incremental innovation is your money. Because you need to be, look at this 8 years' time, we need to continuously, every year, make sure that we are the thought leader in our market. And that's what we also did, right? We didn't change a lot from the presentation product in the beginning, but we added all kind of new innovations on top of it, mobile apps, desktop apps. We also added data collection, IoT, management for our customers of all of our devices and so on. So that are the things which we have been doing. Of course, that doesn't last forever, so at a certain point you have to reinvent yourself. Every startup will face that at a certain point in time, and we also face that. So we have to rethink on where is a new market, where are the new needs coming, and that's something which you cannot do every year, but at least every 5 to 8 years you have to do that part. And that's also what we did here. Now we are 3 years later, so again, we need to come with new incremental innovations. And that's basically, if you come to our booth, if you come to our booth, you will see one of the last launches which we did in January. We, in January, launched a new CX50 generation, second generation product, which is still a conferencing product, but which already improves the part. And one of these important things which we improve is we see that after COVID, people are much more concerned, not just high quality video and audio, no, they are concerned about inclusiveness of meetings. They want to better connect with the remote people. They want to always see them on screen. They don't want to just only look at the slides and the film. They want to read the mimics. And so what we did now is we introduced a new product which directly works with 2 displays, automatic analysis on your laptop on what is your presentation, what is your video conferencing tool, and we orchestrate that automatically across the different displays. So that we can see at the booth. Of course, many other things on that one to say. If we look to that incremental innovation, if you ask me now, what is that? How can you, what is it? How do you have to do that? Well, incremental innovation from my part is, it's an agile process. I mean, if I have to draw it, it's like this, right? You iterate fast, you want to be fast, you do design sprints, you start from a problem of your customer which you know, right? And where you want to improve upon. And we have then our UX designers really looking to the usability of things. We have our architects really thinking about what kind of new functionality we would need. Implementation people come and so on. It looks like a process. Of course, sometimes you might jump back and have to redesign certain things because you were wrong. That's part of it. But if you look back from, for instance, a launch of such an incremental innovation and you look back over time, typically this is something which takes a year. If you were always right, it's less than a year. If you sometimes had to do something back, it's more than a year. But roughly, this is the timeline of this. This is a process which is highly capable of working with customers. So we introduce our customers, our ecosystem partners, where Frank will talk later about. We integrate that in our workflow, and that's the way how we do it. It has a lot of advantages. It makes money, this kind of innovation. Higher management definitely likes it because it's a streamlined process, it goes fast. On the other hand, something to manage, of course, is your innovators sometimes are not that ones, like Frank talked about people, they maybe don't like this too much. Why? Because you're not making that big step again. People want to sometimes make a big step, like in our product now, we added some AI to identify which app we are using, but it's not the groundbreaking AI, right? So if we now look to the disruptive innovation, and you ask me what is that, right? Well, I used here Newman's squiggle, which is a principle from design thinking, of what a creative and disruptive process is like. And it's a total different beast. First of all, we have to understand it's a total different beast. If we were making that conferencing product, it's not the same as wireless sharing product. It's something totally different. And you have that whole phase where you actually don't know your problems. You are going to find it out. You're going to look for something which you actually don't know. It's a lot of chaos. And after some time, when you de-risk and when you industrialize further, it becomes a little bit smoother. And in the end, it becomes again more like incremental innovation. What I did now is I plotted from our conferencing product the time which we spent and how many efforts in the years before on that product. And if you look like that, it's really, this is also a curve which you would expect from any startup who starts, right? It's a much longer curve, it's slow, it takes some time to really get your product right. It's 3 to 5 years, typically from ID towards the launch of your product. In the last part, the last years, it's really ramping up. You massively start from a team from 6 people, you need to get to 80, 90 people on getting onto that, and you do your alpha beta testing. But that first phase, that first chaotic phase here, that's where it takes more time than expected. It is where people think about, go talk to the different people, customers, suppliers, try to find out what's the root cause, what you want to solve, and try to solve that part. This is, by the way, the type of innovation where we could, and definitely in the beginning, where we are very open to work with universities, with startups. So also there, I mean, a call out, if you're interested, if you think in workspace and enterprise things, your technology can help us, or could mean something in this space, come talk to us. Because for these kind of new disruptions, whether it's metaverse and so on, we would need a collaboration in order to get this right. Of course, this also has a downside, this disruptive innovation. I only showed you the curve of the positive product, right? I mean, we were lucky with that product. Meanwhile, when we were doing this, there were three other projects which actually didn't make it. That's, of course, not fun, but that's the reality, and that's what we also have to cope with. And the way how we cope with that in Barco is, like I said, we really try to make our processes as much as possible like startups, right? We have a funding process which is guided by our central corporate innovation lab, being Barco Labs, where there is a funding process of these new disruptive projects to take place, really tied to how funding of startups is. So seed fund from ideas, we can first get some seed funding, we go to a growth funding for acceleration, and then really to move it into a normal business process and a business functionality. Here we can also rely a lot on our colleagues in Barco Labs, also at our site, at our booth. You will see some demos there where they explore certain parts. Okay, I focus now on ClickShare as an innovative product, but that's not alone. As Barco, we did that also in the other dimensions. We have, for instance, Dermicus, which is a product to find, which doctors can use to find skin cancer parts. We have also in the projector part a similar kind of story of light steering, where we have high dynamic range projectors based on a very intelligent way of how to steer laser lights and that. So the last part for the ecosystems.
Okay. Good, thank you very much, Erwin. That was a most interesting story. Thank you very much. I hope everybody got a good insight in how Barco is doing innovation and how Barco has been launching, let's say, ClickShare over the past 10 years in the different stages. Now, Erwin already mentioned that the innovation itself is not something what we just do standalone. So from an innovation point of view, we also try to attract partners from a startup point of view, like Erwin already said, but also attract partners in a wider ecosystem. So this means you can see here, we are here basically at the core in Taiwan of our ecosystem. If you look at all the different suppliers in terms of modules, in terms of chips, in terms of know-how, and so on and so forth, in terms of ODM, obviously, and manufacturing, that we are based on. So we are basically in a Valhalla, let's say, of the ecosystem for any innovator to work with, right? A strong ecosystem and partnership, you know, can be a very powerful competitive advantage. Yeah. So in 2023, our market is changing ever rapidly. Yeah, partnering within an ecosystem, yeah, can also, let's say, increase our capacity to also scale. Yeah, so if we have new ideas, if we want to go to market with a new product, whether it's iterative or disruptive, having a good ecosystem partner can also accelerate that as well. Yeah. New innovation means also new skill sets. Having also the right ecosystem partner in the mix also provides the new skills within our research and development department, which are highly necessary to develop the end product. Our ecosystem itself, also like Erwin already mentioned, you know, we like to think of it as a startup. Yeah, so we surround ourselves with customers, with service providers, with innovation of other companies that we rely on to do innovation together with us. Yeah, and that's why we also invite all of you to visit our booth and to come and have a chat with us to see what is possible or how you could fit in or how we together can break some ground into some new ideas. A key success factor for implementing, of course, also digital transformation within our company, but also, and maybe to finish the story from an ecosystem point of view, it also makes your company not just more innovative and competitive, but also resilient. Yeah, I think we have all suffered to a certain extent in our businesses over the last couple of years, and maybe some of you still, in terms of shortage of components. Yeah, having a very strong ecosystem built around you can also, let's say, soften the blow, and it can also put the right mitigations in place to make sure that your revenue keeps coming in and that alternative solutions are found. Redesign can be done of existing platforms with alternatives and so on and so forth. So an ecosystem partner overall, very important for the success of your business. So to conclude, you can see that on the right-hand side a muted video of our latest flagship of ClickShare, CX50, where we can demonstrate to you really a very unique feature that nobody else has from the landscape of our competitors, where we show basically on one side of the left-hand side of the display, we can show the data. On the right-hand side, we can show the people participating in a meeting, in a conference. Yeah. So what we do here basically is we try to bring more meeting equity towards people in a conferencing room. If you do conferencing today using Zoom, using WebEx, then basically what happens is that you have little thumbnails of people and you're not getting any information from them. You can see they turned on their camera on or off, but you don't get a lot of information during that meeting. If you have indeed a full view of the people in large format on the second display, so where we have a split display of data and people, you can see people's facial expressions. You can see the people interacting in the meeting room with each other. So having meeting equity in a hybrid environment where we all work in, lots of home workers, lots of people in a company, that's exactly what we want to accomplish with that. On the left-hand side, you can see those avatars, those meta-humans. Yeah? That is what Erwin was talking about, disruptive innovation. The CX50, that's part of our innovation being incremental, but our disruptive innovation is being prepared. This means we are exploring certain ideas. Doesn't mean that this idea or this project will make it at the end into a product, but we are exploring ideas on how to, let's say, improve telepresence, yeah, through the use of these meta-humans made by an Unreal gaming engine. Yeah? So it's quite interesting to experience, and we have a full-blown demo and setup that you can experience yourself and you can play around with to see what it does for you. So no goggles, no anything. It all works in, let's say, in this stage. All right, so with this I would like to conclude. I hope you enjoyed our presentation and that you will come and visit us in our booth at the back near the center stage at Q1113. Thank you very much.
For our second startup of Belgium Flanders Innovation Demo Day, we would like to welcome Settlemint to share their presentation with us.
All right, thank you. I would like to thank you, Flanders, for hosting us. We're a very new startup here in Taiwan, and so Settlemint is offering blockchain solutions for corporations. So the idea behind our product is, I think everybody knows, building a blockchain application is very difficult and it's very expensive. So the research, the money that's put into it, and to find the right people is very, very difficult. So we want to make it very simple, very easy for enterprises and corporations and even startups to build what they want to build, right? So with every blockchain application that we see around right now in Taiwan and around APEC, there's a lot of money, a lot of experiment, a lot of research that goes into it. But really, is there anything that's really tangible that we can really see that's working in real life? We don't really see a lot of that right now. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to expedite the whole process and make it easy for developers, because the platform itself is made by developers for developers. So it makes it really easy, and with our tools, it fits in every business scenario that's around us. So whether it's a startup, whether it's like a big conglomerate like Foxconn or whatnot, we fit in every application, okay? So the idea is we want to expedite the whole building process by 10 times. We want to make the businesses happy. We want to see the business have that cutting edge. We want to have them. We want them to build applications so they can really take advantage of our blockchain technology as a whole, and to be that let's say pioneer in that specific industry, whether it's supply chain, capital markets, or whatever it may be. Okay, so Settlemint here, it's a complete platform for blockchain development, okay? And we have seen WordPress, we have seen Stripe, we know how it works. WordPress is basically a website that provides all the tools for you to build a website, right? Stripe is the same thing for payments, and Settlemint is for blockchain. You can think of it in that perspective. So we provide different Lego pieces to build your application. So you don't really need to know the language behind it. You don't need to know the knowledge. You don't need to know a lot of things. So we have all the components to build everything that you need. So the idea behind this is with every idea to realization, it usually takes a while. Like sometimes to know the protocol you want to build on, sometimes to figure out the node, to figure out how to host it, whether it's on cloud, on premise. It takes a while. So we want to shorten that time frame down to a couple months, right? So from the discovery analysis phase all the way to network development, use case development, integration into your existing system, we have all the tools to do that, right? So it takes about 2 months or maybe even less. So we have a team in India and Belgium that will support every enterprise, every developer to build application. I'm based here in Taiwan. I cover the APEC region, so feel free to come by and say hi. But the idea behind this is we want to make it really easy for everybody to build their application. So the idea behind this is like we want to make it easy, fast, customizable, integrated, scalable, and be able to observe all the data that's behind it, right? So it makes it really easy. It's not overly complicated. That's the idea behind our tools. So these are a couple of companies that we work with currently. And so obviously some of them are more famous here in Asia, like Standard Chartered, OCBC, based out of Singapore, P&G, and Carrefour. A couple of them are based out of the EU region, so we may not know them as well. But basically it gives you an idea of like a big spectrum of different companies that we work with. So like I mentioned early on, it fits in every business scenario. It's not just a specific type of business that we cater to. So this is kind of like how the platform works. You can deploy, pick and choose the protocol you want to deploy on, and as well as the cloud service. Usually the traditional process takes a while. It takes 3 to 4 months, but our process, it takes about 20 minutes to deploy everything. So it makes it really fast, makes it really easy. Second is we have templates for the developers to pick from. So instead of writing every code, every smart contract, knowing everything, all the knowledge to write everything, it takes a while. So we have templates that's customizable, and as well as 80% of the smart contract has been done. So you can really tinker with what we have, or maybe you want to deploy everything onto our platform using what you have already. We are very welcome to do that. Next one is the integration. So we have tools to integrate with legacy systems, whether it's a core banking system or like a current system that you guys use, payment system, wallets, whatever it may be. We have all the tools to connect all of them together. So you don't need to know all the codes to connect them all together. We have all the tools built in, so it makes it really easy. The idea behind this is like with businesses grow, we want to grow with the business. So we can offer real-time scaling on the platform. So a lot of times, if you need more CPU, if you need more RAM, if you need more memory, we can scale that in real time. So it makes it really easy for developers. The last but not least is a very simple UI dashboard. So you can see the whole health of all the application that's running, different nodes, how the keys are running. If there's any problems, I'll give a highlight. So it's really easy for everybody to understand and see where the problem is and have information at a glance. A couple of projects that we have been working on and have worked on is Standard Chartered and OCBC. These are probably one of our bigger clients. They are working on so-called tokenizing assets. So the idea behind tokenization is we bring a fixed asset, whether it's a real estate or a bond or whatever, a fixed income asset. We can make them into small pieces, so every consumer or every client can actually have access to the product. NFT projects. We work with the New York Mets. We issue playing cards to get more fan engagement. Okay, this is something that's probably more we have seen around I guess around the world, like with the NFTs and whatnot. So. The idea behind it is like we want to get more fan engagement with this product. Carrefour, we offer supply chain traceability. So the idea behind this is when we buy any goods from the retailer, we know where it's produced, how it was transported, which packing house, which box it was packaged, and all that information is available through the app. As well as AB InBev. This is not as famous here in Taiwan. Basically, it's a beer company based out of the EU region. It offers the same information from the harvesting of the crop all the way to how it's packaged and all the way to how it's made into beer. So that's about what we do, and that's all the services that we offer. We do offer different services and more, so feel free to come by our booth at Q1113 and stop by and say hi. I'll be there throughout the week, and then yeah, that's about it.
For our next startup for Belgium Flanders Innovation Demo Day, we would like to welcome Luceda to share their presentation with us.
morning. Good morning. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Sheikh from Luceda Photonics. It is my pleasure to be here today to introduce how Luceda is driving innovation through photonics. In this fast-paced world, technology innovation has become a driving force behind improving our lives. And it is difficult to imagine if we did without these incredible high technology products. And at the heart of these high-tech products, there lies a crucial component, and that is the chip. Almost every high-tech product we use today relies on chips. And the revolution of the chips could not only strongly enhance the product performance, but also open up new possibilities. And there are many different types of chips. If we categorize them by the driven mechanism, we can classify them into electrical-driven chips and optical-driven chips. Electrical-driven chips is already very mature and widely used in many fields, and known as IC. And today, we are going to dive into the other fascinating and fast-emerging technology, and that is called optical-driven chips, or called photonic chips. So for most of the people, photonic might be an unfamiliar word. So what is photonic, and what is the photonic chip? So photonic is to manipulate light in a smaller scale. And the photonic chip is to integrate multiple optical functions onto a chip. So for example, you can see in this picture, in the photonic chip, you have a light source to generate light signal, and you need a component to transport light. And next step, you can do the optical signal processing. And finally, the optical signal could be detected and converted into electrical signal. And now you might be wondering, what are the benefits of the photonic chip and why they are gaining more and more attraction? And there are primarily two reasons. The first is photonic chip can scale down the bulky, complex optical system onto a chip that is smaller than a fingertip. And the second is we can leverage the unique properties of light. And let me show some example. The first is because light is very fast. Light could be transmitted in high speed and will generate very, very low heat. And therefore, the power consumption is also lower. And this property is exceptionally valuable in the field of communication. For example, the photon chip-based optical transceiver enable high-speed and wide bandwidth transmission. And photonic-based interconnect in the data center can produce much lower energy than the electrical-based. So you can save many, many energy. It's energy saving. And the other property is light is very sensitive. And because light is very sensitive, so photonic chip enable high precision sensing. So you can use photonic chip into biosensing or LiDAR. And the other benefit is the photonic chip can scale down your system volume. So your product could become more robust and more compact. And the other application is AI. So in last year, NVIDIA and TSMC announced that they are working on multi-GPU solution based on photonic chip. Because photonic chip has advanced of high-speed transmission and the low latency and lower loss when they transmit inter-GPU. So the photonic chip can accelerate AI application. And the other example is quantum computer. So some company utilize photonic circuit into a quantum computer for the room temperature quantum computer. Yeah, so far you can see photonic chip has emerging in more and more application. And in the future, photonic chip will integrate or packaging with the electronic circuit together and empowering the technology innovation. And according to Euler Group, the photonic chip market is experienced a compound annual growth rate of 36% from 2021 to 27. And the major application field will be communication and sensing. In this era, the demand for information and energy is growing up exponentially. And photonic chip offers a viable solution to address these challenges. So photonic chip will become more and more crucial, and photonic chip deserve you to pay more attention to it. And now allow me to introduce how photonic chip ecosystem works. And the company we list here are just for example. So the photonic chip ecosystem is similar to electronic chip. So first, we both have the EPDA Tool player, which is the circuit design software. And our company, Luceda, is also one of the EPDA player. And then we have the circuit design house, and then the foundry for manufacturing, packaging, and finally become the end product and push it to market. And the key difference between photonic and electronic ecosystem is the maturity level. electronic ecosystem is already very mature. So the electronic designer can design a very complex circuit, but their component library or the component building blocks is fixed. While photonic is still in early age. The photonic ecosystem today is just like electronic ecosystem in 1970s. So far, photonic ecosystems still have various of material platform, and their component library or component building blocks is not fixed. So for foundry or the designers who just enter the photonic ecosystem, you might be confused a bit, or you might even be overwhelmed. And at this moment, the EPDA tool player like Luceda plays a pivotal role in the photonic ecosystem, because we are the entry point for the designer or the new foundry in this ecosystem. So when our client first come to us, we will help them to understand and navigate how this complex system works. So for a software company, we are way more than just a software provider. We do the customer support, we have user group meeting, and we do expert guidance. And Luceda offers you a comprehensive and one-stop service for photonic chip design. And now let me introduce our company, Luceda Photonics. Our technology is originated from Ghent University and IMEC since early 2000. So we have over 20 years experience at the field of photonics. And we were founded in 2014. Our headquarters is in Belgium. And we also have the office in Shanghai and the collaborating in North America. We have about 30 people right now. And Luceda's vision is help photonic IC designers enjoy the same first-time right design experience as electronic IC designers. And Luceda is an EPDA tool company. We have our own photonic circuit design platform. It's called IPKIS. And now let me introduce this powerful photonic design platform. In the IPKIS, the photonic designer are allowed to build up their component and then also apply the designer circuit for layout for application. And they can also apply a circuit model to run a simulation. And IPKIS is Python-based, so it's a powerful and standard language. You don't have to learn a new language for the design. And what makes IPKIS more powerful is because we offer a comprehensive PDK. So we have mentioned in the ecosystem part, photonic ecosystem has various of material platform, and each foundry has its PDK. PDK is the component library or the building blocks. And the IPKIS designer are allowed to use the PDK from different material platform, and also the PDK from the foundries worldwide. And we also have an advanced module for designer to design more complex system. And we also have the link with other EDA tool player, and also for a link to other simulators. So in short, inside IPKIS, photonic designer has their highest flexibility to build up and design their photonic circuit. And what makes Luceda become one of the crucial players in the photonic ecosystem is our collaborative approach. We understand the importance of partnership and relationship with the academic and industry partners worldwide. From upstream to downstream, we work together, we grow together, and we serve as a trusted and reliable partner in the field of photonics. And we believe our collaborative approach is one of the key ingredients that we boost our customer support and make sure our designer have the first-time right design experience. So thank you, I'm Sheikh. And if you have any question about photonic circuit design or the photonic ecosystem, don't hesitate to come to us. Our booth is at Q1113. It's the same as the Flanders and the Barco. So after you enjoy the amazing product by Barco, welcome to talk to me and enjoy the Belgian chocolate. Thank you, and let's start your photonic design journey with Luceda.
For our final starter for today's Belgium Flanders Innovation Demo Day, we would like to welcome Marlinks to share their presentation with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just before your lunch break. So, my name is Iris. I'm working for the Belgian company Marlinks. And what we hope to do as Marlinks is we hope to contribute to Taiwan's 2050 net zero emissions targets. So we are active in offshore wind industry, and we are a software company using our machine learning models to actually prevent any harm from happening to the subsea cables. Just a small introduction to where we are. So we were founded in 2017 in Leuven. Currently, our office is based in Ghent. One of our investors is Barco, which is a Belgian developer in offshore winds. And as you see, in 2022, we just got our first projects in Taiwan, so Hai Long, which is a 1 gigawatt wind farm. And we are also setting up a branch office after having set up a rep office last year. So offshore winds, I'm not sure if you're so familiar with it. So let me first give an introduction to why it is important to look at the subsea cables. So the subsea cables in the offshore winds industry, they make up around 10 to 20% of the initial capex cost. So 10 to 20% is not a lot. However, if you look at the claims, so the insurance claims that are gotten afterwards, subsea cables actually make up 80% of all the insurance claims. Why? This is because the subsea cables are a critical infrastructure part, which are currently still being maintained in a rather traditional way, so by having surveys sent out. If you have an issue with a single export cable, repairing it can take you 60 days to a cost of 12.5 million euros. However, it is estimated that these costs are currently even higher because there are not enough vessels in the market currently, because the offshore wind market is really booming. So what do we do at Marlinks? So as I said, Marlinks is a software company. However, we do also use hardware. The problem with hardware is that it actually generates a lot of data. But the interpretation of the data is another thing, which is not always taken care of. So what we use are two types of devices, which I will further elaborate on in the next slides. But the devices, the DTS and DS devices, they go from no data to data. So they get you insights, like a raw dump of data. However, what we do at Marlinks is we take this data and we provide you with information, insights, and hopefully, for the wind farms, cost saving. If we then look into the type of devices, I hope everyone is still with me. What we use is a DTS. A DTS stands for distributed temperature sensing. And this type of device is placed on the substation of your wind farm, so onshore or offshore, or both of them, depending on the length of your cables. And the DTS, it sends a laser pulse through the fiber optic cable, which is already embedded in the power cable. So it sends out a pulse, and because your fiber optic is impure, this will actually generate backscattered lights. And the interpretations on the backscattered lights, which are coming back to the DTS, they give you information about the temperature at every location within your cable. So let's say, depending on the accuracy, it would be every 1 meter along the cable. You would get a point of temperature. The good thing about this device is that you do not need any sensors that you put on the cable, so meaning that the maintenance costs are rather low. So if you need to do any maintenance, it would be only on your substation, onshore, offshore, on this device itself. So the device itself has a lifespan of 25 years, which is also the lifespan of your offshore winds itself. What do we do at Marlinks? We have applications which are used with this device. So our applications are real-time thermal rating, depth of burial, and cable exposure model. I'm not going into detail on any of these different applications, but just so you know, in Belgium at least, Marlinks, if any offshore wind is using our depth of burial service in Belgium, it is actually seen as a legit replacement of the yearly survey which is done, which is quite a high standard. Apart from temperature, what we also measure are acoustic events. So an example which might interest you as a public is, for example, you have certain environmental monitoring assets that can be used with the DAS. So what a DAS does is actually it's sensing acoustic events which are causing vibrations which are captured by the fiber optic. So let's say a very big whale is a whale is like going through the wind farm, it causes certain sonoric sounds. And if the sonoric sounds fall within the spectrum which can be captured with a DAS, actually the DAS can give you an idea what type of animal is in the surroundings of your wind farm. One example that we're taking out here is vessel traffic and fishing. So what we have done is you have different types of vessels which have passed, this is an R&D project, which have passed through a wind farm in Belgium. And because the different vessels have different loads, they have different turbine sounds, different types of turbines, they also generate another type of sound pattern. And these different type of sound patterns have been captured through your DAS. And as you see through these two different graphs, you see you can see the timing of when your vessel has passed, as well as the different spectrums of the vessels itself. And the last one is the one that I have told you about, is the whales. So what we have done in R&D is also, I don't know why this keeps on changing, is we have captured the sound. Okay, so what we have done is we've captured the sound of whales and also the ocean. And then afterwards, we have deducted the sound pattern of the different types of sea waves that, and what we have gotten is the pattern of the whale sounds. And we have compared the pattern of the whale sounds together with a sound pattern that we had recorded. And this was actually quite similar with each other. So where are we active currently? We are active in the UK, in the Netherlands, of course Belgium, Germany, the United States, Portugal, France, and as from last year, also Taiwan. All right, so this was my presentation, and hope you enjoyed it.
That would be all the presentations from Belgium Flanders Innovation Demo Day. We would now like to invite all the startups that participated in the presentation to come up to the stage and take a few photos. Thanks again to all those startups that participated in Belgium Flanders Innovation Demo Day. Make sure to check out their booth at the Q's area. That would be all for in the morning for Pi Stage. If you're interested in hearing more startup pitches, we will start our afternoon with Innovative Poland at 1:30 p.m. So everyone, hope you enjoy your lunch and see you then.